Welcome to Nicoprops. I'm Chris Fry, also known as Nicodemus. In today's video we're going to be going through the setup of the Muse laser cutter, which is why I've got it spun round in the opposite direction so you can see the back of it. So we've got a few connections here to look at. So we've got the water in and outlet valves in and out. We've got the exhaust port, the air inlet. We've got two connectors down here. One is for the exhaust fan, one is for the air compressor, and also power for the main unit as well. Now this water chiller unit is actually powered independently. You can choose to have a water pump or a chiller when you purchase it. I've gone for the chiller in this instance, which keeps the water at roughly room temperature. So other things that you may get with your Muse as well is I've got a step down transformer because I am inside the EU. This is a fairly hefty piece of equipment. Has a US socket on the front of it. To go with that, we've got a special adapter which gives us extra ports on that. So this gets plugged directly into the adapter, which is going to allow us to plug in the water chiller. So I will run around the back here into the adapter as well. So I'm going to just put this down for a moment while I pick up the lead for the main Muse. Now this transformer isn't actually plugged into the mains yet, so I'm going to plug one end into the Muse like so and run that round here. And I plug that into the adapter as well, like so. The next thing we've got is the exhaust fan. Okay, so this fan is for exhausting out all of the nasty chemicals and things. So we're going to plug that in to the back of the Muse, which goes on the bottom here. That's there. While I'm reaching over here, there is from the compressor, which is here, this hose pipe, okay, which is connected using a small connector that comes with the Muse. This just slides onto this brass barb here. That's the compressor attached. Now we need the power for that compressor as well. And the power lead sitting on, just reel that in. So the power lead, and that goes in at the top. So we've got air compressor at the top, fan underneath. At the side we've got the extractor fan. Now I've already got the water plugged in, the actual chiller unit plugged in, and we've got some hose that comes with the chiller. We've got two pieces here, one for the in, one for the out. Now on the actual chiller itself we have, this is the inlet, so we connect the inlet to one side of the hose like so. I'm going to put that cap to one side, and then the other side of the hose we need to find the water outlet from the Muse, which is this one here. Now we've got a piece of hose that's attached here, and there's a little bit of water come out when I did that. Attach that to the outlet, which is going to squeeze a bit of water out from inside the Muse. Put that spare piece of pipe. Now we've got the second piece of hose, which I'm going to connect to the other side, which is the water in. Now we want the water out from the chiller to connect to that. Okay, so we're going to connect that. Seems to be being a bit stubborn. Give it a bit of a twist. There we go. You want to make sure that that's well and firmly pushed on so that you've got a good connection there. So we've got water, we've got extraction, and we've got air compressed air. The last thing we need is the actual compressed air to the cage fan. Now they supply you with this expanding ducting, and if you need They don't supply a lot. This ducting is 4 inches or 100mm for us Europeans. If you needed to buy some more, in the UK they use this same ducting for extractor fans and that kind of thing. Or you can split this if you don't have to go very far. There's not a lot here, so you'll likely have to buy some more. But if you do need to split it, separate out one of these rings, and there's a piece of wire that runs through the middle here. Using a pair of side cutters, cut that, and then carefully cut this foil around to give you an end similar to this. Okay, the actual end. So we pull that out, and you can see that that's kind of cut. Now what we need to do with this end is we need to put this over. I'm going to drop that down the bottom. We need to put this over our extraction vent, like so. Might be a bit fiddly. We'll give it a bit of a twist. And we've just got to make sure that, that this is completely covered. It doesn't seem to be covering this particularly well, to be honest. So, that's it. Being careful not to tear it in the process. And then once that's on there, slid on, what you'll need is one of these, which is sort of like a Jubilee clip. This is a 100mm clip for ducting for extraction fans, and they don't supply this with the Muse, so you'll have to buy these separately. You'll need at least 4 if you're connecting to an output on an extraction fan vent. If you're just putting the hose out of a window, then 3 will be enough. We're just going to hook this around here like that, and feed in Jubilee clip. These are also known as hose clamps as well as Jubilee clips. We just need to make sure that this is good and tight initially around here, and slot this in place like that, and then you just tighten that up with a screwdriver to make sure that that's good and tight on there like that, and you just keep turning it until it's tight enough around the connection on the Muse that it's just not going to come off. So that's good and tight there, that's not coming off. And that's your extraction. That goes to the fan. Okay, I believe, although I haven't tested it, it will need to go to this connection, and then the output goes to this connection, and that's essentially everything you've got to have for your Muse set up. Now, bearing in mind, before running your Muse, you'll have to turn your water on your chiller, and then you're good to go effectively. So I'm going to spin the machine around so we can see it from the front, and we'll go through the startup sequence and configuring of the main panel to connect to your network, and then once we've got that all sorted, that's the setup of the Muse done before you have to do alignment and things, which we're going to do in another video. So let's spin round and have a look at the screen on startup. Okay, so we've got the camera positioned over the Muse, so we can see the screen and the main inside. If I open this up here, you can have a look inside, and we can see the gantry, which is unlocked with the head. If I move that to the middle, it will give you a better idea of what it's going to do. It normally starts off in this corner, but we'll leave this open for now so you can see the head, but normally you would have this closed. I'm going to turn on the power switch on the wall first, which turns on the transformer, which you can hear buzzing there in the background, and then I'm going to turn on the main Muse, and you can see the startup procedure. So as it's starting up, we can see a blue light down here on this switch here, and this screen says Full Spectrum Laser. I'll do another zoom in a moment just at the screen section so you can see it starting up with just the screen. But as it gets into its cycle, it's going to home the head. Here we go. Part of the startup cycle. And that's the head homed. So if you have troubles, when you do this procedure and you turn it on for the first time and it makes some really bad clunking noises, then you need to watch my aligning or homing problems with the Muse video, which I'll link at the end. So on this panel now at the side, we've got a warning, and that's going to show us, or we should be able to then click that to start continuing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change the camera angle now so that you can see this panel only, and you can get a close-up of the Muse starting. So I've come over to the panel to give you a better look of the boot up sequence. Let me flip the switch there. So we can see the panel here as it starts up. You should see the Full Spectrum Laser logo up here in a moment. There it is. So this takes a few seconds to boot up its firmware. The screen goes blank for a moment and then it starts to home. Here it is, homing the laser. You can hear that in the background. It'll come into shot on the left in a moment. And we can see at the bottom of this warning that it's got a start-up countdown before you can press agree. So we'll press agree on that. And it'll take a second to go into the actual settings. So we are at the home screen. We can see that we have extraction plugged in, but the water's not on, which you can tell by these icons here, but that's because I haven't turned the chiller on. But one of the main things we want to do, first of all, is actually go to the network settings and get this connected to the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to click settings. I'm going to click on, so we've got the laser settings that we're on here at the moment. I'm going to click on network. I'm currently on a network at the moment, so when you first start up, it's going to give you the option to connect to a network. So I'll click on the Wi-Fi networks that are showing, and I'll press connect, put in my username, password, credentials, and then I'm connected. And it's going to give me right here the IP address, the local IP address of my Muse, and I can put that into a browser, and then I can view the bed of the laser and start to control it. So that's the setup of the network there. You can even go into the advanced settings here and turn off DHCP. So people have complained that every time they start up their Muse, their IP is different and they have to keep checking it. And the reason is that you're using your Muse on DHCP. And DHCP means any IP on the network, it's going to be assigned to it. If you switch that to static, you can tell it that I only want to use this IP for this particular device, so it will always remain the same. I'm going to leave mine on this setting and click back to home. I'm quite happy with that. So there's a couple of icons on here, so we can home the laser, and that just returns the laser to its home position. So if you've got it and you've manually moved it around the bed, you can see the top there coming along, and then it should, when it hits the limit, it's home. Okay. During working, if there is a problem, you can click E-stop just here. Now if you want to manually move the gantry, you need to unlock it. So you can unlock it with this last icon here, and that allows me to manually move the laser like so, and then when I lock it again, it's going to move to the home position. It's going to go to home, and then it should return back to where I just put it. It's just getting a reference of where on the bed it was compared to home. Okay, so we're in the Nicoprops office, just off from the workshop, and what we're going to do, as we saw on earlier video, that we've already got this configured, we've got it hooked up to the network. Now to access it, I need to put in the IP address that was on the screen into a browser. So we're in Google Chrome at the moment, and the IP address is 192.168.1.18 for my network. Press enter and give this a moment. It's just connected to the Muse. It's bringing up Retina Engrave across the network for me. So this is the very basic Retina Engrave. What we're looking at here is the bed in a visual format. Now, what we can do on Retina Engrave is you can use the camera function to be able to see what's happening on here. So if I press camera, it's going to ask me to place the laser above the head of the material and focus the laser. Now I've already done that, put it over the bed, over the material, and I'm going to click next, and it's going to go and take 9 pictures of the bed, and it's going to stitch them together and bring them back to us. So I can hear it in the other room, it's moving around, it's acquiring the images, and we can see them previewing as they appear on the screen. And it stitches them together and then and brings them in on Retina Engrave. So we can see here that I've just got a printout in the bed, the Nicoprops logo. Okay, so it's that simple. You can get in and you can start fiddling around with some of the settings in here, and we can look at the global settings for the Retina Engrave, what the current speed is, and the laser position, is it absolute, thresholds. We can download the license if we want to. We can do test files of the laser. There is the job estimates window, vectorizing, and open existing projects, and obviously you can start new projects. You can rename this. Now when you get your Muse, you'll get a brief pamphlet of how to use Retina Engrave fully, and I'm also going to cover Retina Engrave in a little bit more detail in a later video. But that's just a very quick preview of how to connect to it so you can get started. So that was the setup of the Muse, connecting all the connectors, air, water and extraction, including power, and the setup on the screen of your network. Next video is going to be how to use Retina Engrave on the PC and actually cut your first object on the Muse. Also look out for the repair videos at the end of this video, which are going to appear hopefully on this side here, and the subscription button, which is going to appear up here as a little round circle off to the side here. Okay, thanks for watching.